Welcome to Kolorflow Conversations, where we flow freely, speak boldly, and connect colorfully. I am Yukisha, and this is
Takesha.
welcome to our 52nd episode.
I started over like week 1, 2, 3,
Oh, it's
4.
we go. Oh, season two.
Welcome to our girl chat.
Yes, our girl chat, and we haven't chatted in the last week that much,
No, we haven't.
but you've been on my mind.
Thank you.
Have I been on your mind?
No.
Listen, and that's okay. Listen, y'all be wanting y'all friends to be thinking about y'all and calling y'all and be like, she ain't called me, I ain't gonna call her. But we obviously not like that at all.
No.
I knew she wasn't thinking about me.
No.
Yesterday, I thought about you though because I text you and told you the number that I saw on the Powerball, and then you didn't text me back. Later on, as soon as I was like, let me text her again. Do you know I was driving and I looked down and I
I
saw
had
it
text
again?
you. Oh, you had seen it
I
again?
seen it again. And then I looked at my phone and then I saw you finally read it. Right when I was like, you know what, God? Okay. Because at first I was like, okay, I'm about to go over there and knock on her door and she'll text me back. I be trying to give you your time and your space, but I said something. I was like, I need her to listen. Look at this. Then I started saying, I need to know if she over there breathing. So then you text me back. I was like, oh, okay. I was starting to wonder, but yeah. But I know it's been the last couple weeks have been a thing,
Yeah.
and we've talked about it these last 2 or 3 episodes. And when people are going through, you go through,
Mm-hmm.
you pushing through. You look better today.
I hate that word pushing.
Do you?
Yes. I
Why?
hate pushing through because it's just like I'm tired of pushing through. I mean, that's literally what I'm doing now, but
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like, I don't want to push through. I always be like, I want a life of ease and joy. That is what I want.
Pushing through is like work.
Yes. And that's literally what I'm doing. Like, it's an effort to do everything. Where before coming doing the podcast, while I still look forward to it, it was always been effortless.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's on my effort list. Like, I'm pushing. Like, I probably got dressed 2 seconds before we started recording. And it was just, oh, this clean.
So you can feel yourself pushing.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see that could be work, and why you wouldn't like it.
And nothing in my life, because like even my job is not hard or strenuous. Like I said, the hardest thing for me to do it is for 8 hours in a row because I don't want to do anything that long in one day. But now I feel like even getting up, going to work in the next room, I'm pushing and it's forcing me. So it's just like I am ready for whatever this season that I'm going through and whatever I'm supposed to learn through this season. I'm really ready to cross over. You know what I'm saying? Into the okay, that was my lesson. That's why I went through that because I'm exhausted. And I don't know if people who battle with like mental health issues, like me go through this, or if people who really don't understand it. But sometimes even the depressed person is tired of being depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's like a misconception, like you can just snap out of it because you can't. And it's the same thing where it's just like, I don't want to feel like this. Like, I miss the me. I have a gathering Saturday. I'm normally like so excited, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like
Pushing through. Mm-hmm. I thought when I was thinking about this day before yesterday, I was reading, and the word that came to mind when I thought about you during that time was long suffering. I feel like maybe we have multiple long suffering seasons, but this is a long suffering season. and the long suffering season does not feel good, but I feel like it's refining you for something, but you don't know what it
it is, like
is
on the other side
on the other
of the
side. Yeah,
rainbow or
yeah,
something. Like I'm like, I don't know what it is.
yeah.
And I'm physically exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So like all I want to do is sleep.
Yeah.
And I cannot get enough rest. The
Yeah.
more I rest, the more I want to rest. And when I'm up, it's not like, you know, sometimes I think people say like, well, you so tired, and then when you up, you can't function. Like, well, I'm up now, I'm okay. But as soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna be depleted
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And it's just like I told someone the other day, I was just like, I miss me.
Yeah.
But I don't know where she's at. I really don't know how to find her. And then it's like I was reading or listening to something the other day, and I had never heard of this, and it was like ADHD paralysis, where there are things that you want to do, but in your mind you cannot even move to function to do it. Because I was just like, I am going to, I don't know if she watched this, but my housekeeper, she quit on me.
Yeah. Did you call the other person I gave you number?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because I was just like, I'm going to take some days off work and I'm going to clean up myself. Maybe this will make me feel good to do it. You know, because sometimes you stand back and you look and the house clean, smelling good. So I was just like, I'm going to do that. And then once I get back in the routine, you know, I had the other lady come. So that was when I said yesterday when I got off work, I was going to do it. I got off work and was just like, oh,
was you in the bed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Until today.
Really?
Yes, until today.
Hey, I mean,
and so I was just like, today I was telling myself like, okay, so now today you got to do it. And you know, the way my brain works is like everything has to be like a time. Like I'm always counting out, and that is just like the weirdest thing to me, but I'm always, so I was just like, okay, so you didn't do it today. So now you're off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like I'm counting down the days.
I've done that,
to see how many days, like if I do it to rest. Then I started like, okay, well, how many rooms do you need to accomplish? So maybe you can do one room per day. So I won't overwhelm myself with trying to do it all in one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the other thing about me when I get to cleaning is it turns into a project of redecorating.
Really?
Because I see how that,
like I've done that. I can see how that can happen. Yeah.
Like now I want to create a whole new environment.
Yes.
So it turns into a bigger thing than just like, oh, let me clean a kitchen
well,
up.
You know what? I've done that with my house and with my studio. And each time I did it, it was actually when I was going through something and going through a change. And it did make me feel better because I felt like it was new.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I felt like it was new. So my house, it was started as a project of cleaning and throwing out stuff. Then it just became
a renovation.
It's a whole new house. So and now that it's like that, I can honestly tell you, Takesha, I think I was saying this to my sister once, that, and this may not be the same for you, but for me, it's like now I take care of it better than I did before. And I just feel better. It's like a sanctuary for me. Like the whole house is like, there's not a room that I don't feel like I can, even though I talked about when I get in bed, my mind be on stuff, and it's hard for me to relax sometimes. But my house though, it's like my sanctuary where I'm like relaxed. I love the atmosphere. I feel peace, and I think that's what you trying to get to. You like, this stuff need to be done, but you want to feel, peace in your atmosphere too. So, housekeeper, if you looking, that was bold that you quit
Well, she probably quit because I canceled on her twice, but I did tell her that I would pay her in advance because, and see, that's something else that, so I'm just like, even though I'm in my feelings about it, I respect it.
Yeah.
But she could have responded and said, girl, you know, you canceled twice, so I'm good. But anyway, you know, everybody handle their business differently.
Yeah.
But so I can respect it, like I said, even though I'm in my feelings because I did. But as I'm going through things, it was like I wanted to
that was
push
one added
through.
thing. That was one added thing.
And all it was just me a matter of opening the door. But when you're in this place like I am, those simple tasks are strenuous tasks for me to get up, put some clothes on, to actually interact, to let her in, to say what I need done. Like that in itself was overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
So it was, to me, it was just like, you know what, I can't do it, so I'm gonna have to cancel. As much as I need her services, I'm gonna say need, because for me it's something that I don't want to do. I don't enjoy doing. Once it's done, I'm like, okay, I'm glad that it's done. But the thing about me is I pretty much feel peace in clutter or not in clutter.
You're creative. A lot of creatives feel peaceful in clutter because they know where everything
I
is.
know where everything is.
My daughter tell me that all the time, like, I'm a creative. I can live in this. And I be looking like, you probably Takesha's daughter. Because y'all act alike.
Like, if this space where we record is probably like my sanctuary space.
Yeah.
And it's a lot junkier than what I normally have it, but everything is exactly where it should be for now.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm so glad that we like openly, and if people been watching last couple, we openly talk about depression and things that we go through, because it be people that hide what they feel and what they go through, and they always feel like depression look one way when it doesn't look that way.
It does not. And I am back listening to the news in the mornings and stuff. So, and and because we live in Michigan, which we probably can count the times where we see the sun all year round, let alone in the wintertime, like that types of stuff plays a role in it. And for me, I like to get dressed and put my coats and my boots and stuff on and be outside. I don't even want to do none of that.
Yeah.
I had an event last Saturday and I was just like, oh,
I gotta
my God. You know, but I pulled it together. I was glad that I went. I had a semi good time, but it's still a struggle because a lot of people, you know, they function, they take care of their families and do that, but on the inside they're miserable. Like my miserable flows out. But even when I think about when we was doing a podcast around this time last year, I was going through it this time last year. So I know a lot of it does have to do with the season.
Yeah.
And I do know with what I'm going through, it's a lot of other things that's going on in my mind that I don't know how to change. I posted on my Instagram the other day, like, do you believe that you can create the life that you want? I have been pondering that question because my life doesn't look like how I want it to look. And what I want to make sure the listeners, because I know you know, like, it never has anything to do with material things.
Yeah.
Because of course we always want more, but I would be happier maybe with less. Living a more minimalistic lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like
she talked about that in our book.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like everything. I think because we're in a world of social media and the stuff that they push on social media, because it's all an algorithm and what they push. They don't push a lot of ordinary, everyday stuff.
No.
It's always, and this is what I feel like America kind of just sets us up in a way. I didn't think I had nothing to talk about, and I just
go ahead, girl. You listen. But that's good though. I don't want you to lose your thought. You said America, but I wanted to say last week it was almost like a struggle for you to talk.
Yes.
I felt that energy that because I said something at one point and you just was like,
I was struggling.
You were struggling. But now that shows the levels of how you are getting better from week to week because you're able to talk. So go, you said America.
Yes, because I even felt like last week it was some dead air, and I'm like, I was trying my best, but I couldn't
but
get
I knew that. I knew
but,
that.
I feel like America sets us up to struggle to a certain aspect because I think about how my life is over the years and the American dream of the get married, the house, the car, the 2.5 kids, the animals, you know, and we what is it, work to live or live to work, whatever it is, because I feel like I work to pay bills, you know, and then if I'm lucky enough, based on how I manage my money, maybe I can take one vacation that year, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to live a life like that. But now that I've gotten myself in an astronomical amount of debt, even though I make a decent amount of money, my debt to income ratio is just blown out of the proportion. So it's just like, how do I climb up out of that to create the life? Because you get this credit, you use it wisely, and then something happens in my case where it's just like the depression takes a hold of me, and me not realizing that that's what it's coming from, and that I'm using my shopping as a way of
as a
crutch to recovering. But then it's just like, oh my God, you got $12,000 worth of debt for just material things, that stuff, you know, and then you taking pictures looking cute, but you got a $300 credit card bill. You know what I'm saying? So it's all of these backstories that we don't see. And I think about like when MC Hammer went bankrupt 100,000 years ago.
Yeah, he was like one of the first people that we knew that was jamming, that was getting.
That was getting, and then it was just like a shock. But I can see that where it's just like not regular, ordinary, every day, that it can happen to anybody, because not knowing how to manage finances and understanding that, you know, everything that you see that's glitter and gold, you don't have to have. We're not competing with the social media world with everybody influencing like, oh, you can go and get this. Like, okay, y'all check out my shirt, you know, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's just like when you have this luxury lifestyle type of taste, like, girl, you cannot go get that Chanel bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just wondering, because I have not made wise choices, you know, and I'm not blaming it on things that I hear or see, because these are choices that I made. But at the same time, the constant, because even like now, I don't have emails to know about sales because I don't need to know. Because those used to things that was tipped me.
Trigger.
You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, it's been years and they've been closed, but I'm just like, Henry Bendel could not have a sale
without you
and me
going.
not going.
I remember. I think I still have the Henry Bendel purse you gave me.
And I have them, and I would probably look at them and be like, I don't even know if I'm going to carry this right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, like you still got it, still function as a purse, it's still cute. Like, so I just think about all of the decisions that I made that were not wise. How I've gotten myself into this hole. How can I get out of it? And I'm like, do I just play the lottery? But then I played the lottery and I won $2. After I spent 17, I'm mad. Like, so, okay, Mega Millions ain't the route. Like, I don't know, but it's just like, I want to live a life of ease and joy. I want to be debt free. I don't want to just work to survive. I want to have more moments of my life that are genuine, happy moments, because I don't know if I was telling you or my sister, maybe to both of you guys, where I was just like literally trying to think of moments when I was just happy. because I have more long suffering moments
Yeah.
of moments of happiness. And then when I thought about the moments of happiness, I wanted to think about them just for me, not like, oh, when I birthed my son.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do
That was
just for
didn't include
yourself
that didn't
that
include
didn't
anybody.
include
Yeah.
nobody else, or me celebrating somebody, or not me purchasing something?
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh, I got this new car. Like, what moments did I have where I was like genuinely happy? And I think one of my happiest moments is when I was in Hawaii.
Oh, for sure. For sure you were happy in Hawaii. You were. I remember that. That's like your favorite place in the world. Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about the air there or
Mm-hmm.
just what it was, but I just felt free. And then for the most part, I mean, I went the one time my niece was with me, but it's just like I'm just by myself, not
Mm-hmm.
worried about, there was just like
Mm-hmm.
no care in the world.
Do you think that you will ever, I ain't gonna say move to Hawaii, but do you think that because you said that you noticed this time last year when we were recording and you know it's a little seasonal thing, do you think that moving away is something that you would consider an option?
I have actually really been thinking about that this week a lot. I watch a lot of HGTV, and so I've been like watching the house hunters on the waterfront views and then internationals.
Mm-hmm.
So I have really been thinking about that. Of course, I don't want to leave my father,
Yeah.
but then I started thinking, why? They left their parents.
And I was about to say, our generation is big on, well, I would do this, but I don't want to leave my mama or my daddy or whatever. We huge on that. And people who actually take the step and move away from, especially an elderly parent, I'd be like, people, well, you think that's bold. Like, why would you leave? And they,
But it's not.
but it's actually not bold the more I think about it, because how you feel on the inside is going to help you. You know, everybody has to do what's going to help themselves. And it's a little selfish, but is it bad to always be selfish?
Right. And when I think about it, I feel like a lot of my struggles in life and decisions that I have made have been from not being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And if I made more decisions out of selfishness, putting myself first, because self love is not selfish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That my life would look different. Because when I think about my parents, and I know we talked about the parents a lot last week, when I think about them, they did not consider me and my sister a lot. Let me tell you something. And I remember me and my sister, and I'm pretty sure that you didn't have to go through this, but me and Tiffany used to have to figure out what we was gonna eat. Okay? Like,
Really?
for real. For real.
They was doing their thing.
They was doing their thing.
Yeah. No, I didn't go through that, but me and my sister actually had a conversation this week. And it's things that we went through separately growing up that I didn't realize until, you know, we get
You
older and we
get older and
talk.
start talking.
And so she was the musician at the church, but I didn't realize that um, it was like they made her become that because my daddy needed a musician. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then the struggles that she went through, and I know she probably like, don't tell my story. I ain't gonna tell it all the time, because one day she gonna come on and tell her own. But different things she went through, even as far as college decisions, not going away because you the musician, you can't leave your daddy. You can't do this, you can't do that, because you gotta stay here. And it was for them, not what really what she wanted to do. So when she stopped playing music and not everybody looking like, why you don't play no more? It was never her love. It was something she was made to do. And even going through that, you know, being criticized by church members and not want to treat her equally because she was a pastor's daughter, or because she was a family member, or not want to give her, and then going to play for other churches and we won't play. And she had to be the only female. She went through so much, and I didn't realize that until we got older. I'm like, dang, and all that stemmed from the decisions that my parents made for her.
Mm-hmm.
They made for her, not something that she particularly wanted to do at all. And I was like, dang, I didn't even realize that. So it changed my way of thinking when it comes to, girl, you got this gift. Why don't you do this? That's never something that she loved to do. And when you see her and say, it was days that me and Tiffany had to figure out what we was going to eat, I'm like, well, how is that? Never knew that. Never knew. And that's where your mama mode come in, because you probably the one who figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I had a job in 11th grade. And one thing about, I will say, I always had money. My parents always made sure I had money.
Yeah.
So I always took care of us. So my whole life, I have been, it's a cardinal out there. My whole life, I have been in that mode of taking care of. And that even flew over to when it was things that I probably should have known, like I couldn't afford it, but it was just like, oh, I got money on the credit card, we about to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just like things like that. But
so when you think about now, we're talking about if you say, I thought about that a lot this week about moving away or whatever, what's best for you, not thinking about nobody. And it's hard for you, I know, because of how much you love your family. Not saying I don't love my family, I love y'all, but when it comes to you making a decision for you, what's going to make you better or help pull you out of what you feeling, it's hard to not put other people in perspective when it comes to your own decisions. I know for me, it's my kids. I know for you, it's probably the same. Like, I can't leave my kids. But when I thought this week, because yesterday we attended, me and my daughter attended first college tour meeting. She going on a college tour, and I'm thinking, man, I'm about to be
an empty nester.
An empty nester in a very short period of time. And so moving away is something I've thought about a long time, especially after I got divorced. Like, when these kids go, my son living his life. He don't be thinking about me. Well, he do, but he don't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be empty. What's gonna make me happy? What's gonna make you, and not happy as a material, like we saying, just on the inside. If looking out here at this makes you feel even worse, on top of the stuff that you already going through, and you like, dang, we only had sun for about 4 hours yesterday. I know I was geek, like, yes, we got some, but if that's not something that makes me like depressed. I don't like the cold, but it don't make me feel like, if that make house on top, then that's something to consider.
It adds in because I am this nature girly.
Yes.
So I can't, like, I'm watching my birds through the window. I always say my birds. But, I'm watching them through the window versus me just sitting outside where I'm just like waiting to see what randomly just walk by me.
Yeah. I thought about you again because you said you watched the news a little this week. You see what happened in California.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you off of social media and on TikTok. Years ago, it was a show called The Hills. Remember that show?
Yeah, I watched it. Loved it.
Spencer and Heidi. They're married in real life. Their house burned down. And they've always been the villains. This remind, girl, they've always been the villains. But this week, I've never watched the show, but Spencer Pratt.
Me and Tiffany love that show.
Listen, this man, they got married young. They've been married 16 years. They got 2 sons, a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. This man loves his wife and his family. He has worked. They put all their money into that house. They was only able to get a few things out. And the way he has, like this week, shown that I don't care what none of y'all say about me. Everything I'm doing right now, I'm going to work for my family. He has, like, made, I don't know, 60 videos that, like, I don't know if this is gonna make me $2,500 or what, or 25 cents. I'm doing, and he's talking from his heart about his family. Well, it made me thinking about him. I could say a lot about them because I've been watching them this weekend. I'm been blessed by, like, their testimony that they're showing through their love in their life and her love of God that I didn't even know they had. But what made me think about you was this man loved hummingbirds. And at their house that they built from all this money, he fed at least 500 birds a day. He made his own nectar for them. And they lived in such seclusion and peace. Like, you know, they was okay being known as the villains because they know who they are for real. Girl, to learn how he had fed these hummingbirds, and he had videos of like his little thing with the nectar, and they would come and take it from his hand. And so somebody asked him this morning, I read, someone said, do you think the hummingbirds are okay? Because everything is just ash around. And he said, I thought about that, and I'm trying not to get sad or depressed thinking about it, because that's really what brought him peace was his crystals and his birds. And he was like, you know, that's what I thought about you. I said, this man and Takesha would be best friends. Because he was like, he said from the time we got to the house, he said 1,000 birds probably came to my house every day. He said, I fed them. And Heidi talked about he made nectar every day for the birds. He said, and he talked about his ingredients that he made it with. And he went out there a couple of times, even showed his 7-year-old son feeding the hummingbirds. And he said, I probably had 500, or he said probably 1,000 birds that was at the house.
I got one hummingbird last year.
Really?
Yep. I remember I was so excited, like a hummingbird came.
But the testimony of like how he has cried, and he, you know, just being known as this villain person, that everybody was just like, you know, they literally live their lives and let the people think that they were who. But now you're getting to know them on a different way, and it's like, dang, now everybody is lifting y'all up and buying her music that they tried to make her number one years ago. Guess we shit now. Number one. This man was like, they thought it was a failure. They regret. He said that was our biggest regret, was putting all our money into her album, trying to make her a star. And he said, and now she's number one on iTunes. And he literally was begging people like, please just go in there and buy a song. Please just, you know, go in there. I'm trying to help my family, I'm trying to support my people. Flocked to that thing and made her. She's number one in 12 countries.
Wow.
So I'm saying this to tell you, like, I know you be feeling like giving up and be like wondering, why is it taking so long for me to come up out of the ashes of feeling like this? And you in your long suffering season, I'm sure that they had 16 years of long suffering of people just thinking whatever. And now everybody supporting them and loving them and praying for them. And he just was being tears. He'd be full of tears, like, you know, he's still the same, like, his character is who he is, but it really was like what he said about her was, people wonder why we've been together. You can see that he loved, you can feel he says she's so pure. She's such a kind person. He said, I saw that in her 16 years ago, which is how your heart is. You're pure and kind. You be going through it. I mean, we all go through it. But I can feel and see the years of moments of depression that turns into days of depression, that turns into months of depression, that one day it just be like, I feel better now. And then to go back into a moment of, I don't know where it's coming from, but I just feel, you know, so you in your long suffering season, and you can't get out and do the things that make you feel better, that make you feel at peace, that because in the summertime you sit outside in the backyard like hours,
all day. Yeah,
all day.
I take the blanket and I just sit back there. Yeah. So, and I think it's just like, no matter what I'm feeling, I know I'm looking forward to just sitting out there.
Yeah, you were looking forward to sitting out there. So if it's something that you have to make a decision on, that's going, because I mean, that's selfish of me to be like, I don't want you to go. How are we going to do the podcast? How are we going to do it? We'll figure it out if you decide to do something that's best for you. Because I, as your friend who love you and been loving you for over 30 years, don't want you to be feeling like this. You know what I'm saying? You don't want me to be feeling like this.
No.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want people that we love to be like, and it'd be like people, even with grief, when somebody died, it'd be like, you ain't over that. Yeah, that's what they be thinking in their head. Some people say it out loud.
Some people say it, yeah.
You know, you do. I'm praying for you, or do this to get over. You can't tell people how to get over what they feeling. You can't tell people how to feel better, how to, even though I know my friend is going through depression every week, I don't know what she gonna feel. Like last week I said I could feel it was hard for you to talk. But my job as a friend and as a believer is just keep talking to God about it. I can't say, Lord bless her, let her get over her depression. It just be Lord Father God, please take it away. Take it away.
Right, because if it worked like that, it would have been gone.
It would have been gone.
Because I say that myself. Yeah. Like all day I just
our long suffering seasons are supposed to be there.
Jesus help. Yeah. I be like, God help. Sometimes that's all I say is just help. Because it's just like I don't know. And like you said, a lot of times, and it may sound strange to people, but a lot of times it's just like I don't know where it's coming from. Yeah. One day I'm literally okay, and then the next day I'm like a whirlwind of all of these emotions that I can't sort out, where it's just like I don't know if I'm pulling in somebody else's, if they're my own, if whatever's going on in the world. I literally, honest to God, don't know where it comes from sometimes. Yeah. But what I do know is my normal tools that would help me are not helping me, because even when I'm just like, I sit, I meditate, I listen to frequency music a lot of times, like I'll just fall asleep on it. So it's all of the things that I normally do, I'm still attempting outside of the outside for real. I go out there, I feed the birds, but I'm coming back in.
And God is silent. He's silent.
Yes. So it's just like, so I'm still, going through the motions, but it's just like, okay, but I did, like I said, I thought about that because I talked to my dad the other day. I have been like, I try and call him a couple of times a week, but when I'm depressed, I avoid everybody. I don't want to talk. Yeah. And I avoid him the most because I cannot hide how I feel. Mm-hmm. Like I might can fake it through a text, but through that phone call, I can't really hide it, especially with him. So I'm just like, he called and I was just like, damn, I got to answer. So I just laid it all out, and he was just like, you have to do what makes you happy. And I was just like, what if you don't even know what that is?
Because he don't even like when you go out of town. I say, if you tell that man,
I'm about to move to Arizona,
he'll probably be like, oh, no, I ain't mean that.
Right. I ain't mean like you're taking it too far.
Yeah. He'll probably be like, I ain't mean that, girl. Now, you doing too much now. Yes. You doing too much. Yes. You doing too much.
Hey, I'm going to read a book. You know how you like to read.
He's like, I mean, go to the library, girl. I ain't mean that.
The other stuff you like.
Yeah. But
yes.
The other stuff.
So I was just like, and I really was like thinking about that. Like, what if I did just relocate somewhere? Because I, technically speaking, have nothing that really is holding me back. It's the heart that I have that holds me back. For the love of my loved ones, even the ones that don't even love me back, the love that I have for them, like not wanting to leave. Because I talked last week about how I don't want a husband. I still don't, but I still am full of love. It's just who I am. And I feel like how you said, like your parents created Tanya as the musician. A part of me like feel like my parents created me as this nurturer.
Yeah.
Because once we moved, and that shifted my life in 11th grade, like I always felt that I had adult tendencies, but I stepped into that adult role then a lot more. So I've been that nurturer. So I worry. When at the end of the day, I don't have to worry about nobody but me.
That's crazy how our parents shape us, and not to be in a bad way.
No.
But like what they shaped my sister to be, they shaped me to be. I think that my people pleaser and my relationship, my relationships I've had with men is what was shaped from my parents. And, of you gotta, how to look and how to this and that's good, but I wasn't really taught, you know, look at character and looked at it was like you go to church, he good. We've talked about this multiple times, but I didn't know. I always was, even in school, I was the friend. I got along with everybody. I still get along with everybody, but I never spoke up for myself.
I feel like when we do the sister episode, it might be like a 2-hour episode because I do feel like hearing you, like it's a lot of similarities with Tiffany.
Yeah.
Because like for me, while I wasn't pushed into anything like creative, but I wanted to go away to school. I bust my butt in school academic because I wanted to go to school. College and having a college education was important to me, but my parents did not want me to go away. And I mean, my mother did admit before, like this was years before she had passed away, that was one of her regrets for me, not letting me go away to school, because leaving here, and I think for me, I don't say this about every student that stays at home, but I think because I had worked so hard and was like forced to go to school here, that my momentum changed. Where I just fell into like, oh, I just need to get a job and just work and just, I didn't care anymore. And like I said, that honestly too, what drove me, because I thought I had this baby and this baby would love me, because like now I felt like my life was just, in shambles and not what I wanted it to be. So it was just like they made those decisions for me, which is now it's just like I'm 48. How do I create that life that I want?
Take that path of what you thought it would have been if you went away. And I think that's what we have realized, and what we want other people to realize, is when you have a path that you need to take, like you need to take the right path, because we talk a lot about the paths we've taken, and not that our lives have turned out horrible, because we overall have a good, decent life. But when I think back on the path that I've taken based on what I thought my parents wanted me to do, or what I thought was right, because God wasn't nowhere in the thought path. It was always what my parents said, do this, do that, look cute, it just whatever. I believe that had I really been learning how to be authentic, and not, and not disobedient, but just know, when you knew I want to go to school, and if you had went away, they would have been mad at you, and that probably would have stopped,
because if role was reversal, real talk, if I was the younger sister, oh, she would have, it would have, it just would have went, and it would have happened, and they would have got on board with it. But me being who I am, I ain't gonna even say who I am, but like looking back, that's one thing that I wish I could redirect my life, and would have just been like, I'm out of here, because I would have been on my way and would have went to Spelman.
Yeah,
I still remember when I got my letter saying congratulations, because that was the only school that I wanted to go to. So when I got that acceptance letter, I still remember it like yesterday, where I was just so excited. And then I was just like, So I feel like I have never lived
for you.
I've lived my whole life.
And have you ever wondered if that's part of the unspoken, don't know where it comes from, depression?
Probably.
Because you've never lived
your life. Because I've never lived my life for me. Because it was just like, this is what they wanted me to do. So I did that. I became a mom. So I lived my life for my son as best as I knew how at that age. Because even as we sit here, I did this for my son.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I bought this house 19 years ago because
I do, yes.
I
Because you wanted
wanted
him to have a house. You want him to have a
I
home.
wanted him to grow up in a house. I didn't want him to be an apartment kid. I wanted him to be able to play outside and play in the backyard, this, that, and the other. And you guys want to know what?
He never played in the backyard. I don't ever remember
basketball, hoop, all of that. He did very seldomly when his friends would come over, very seldomly when they would come and spend the night. But for the most part, you know what I did? I got up. My dad lives maybe 2 miles away. He went over there and played in that area.
Really?
So I could have stayed in the apartment and not sign my life away to a 30-year mortgage. Okay.
Listen, that's when you said, you know what he never did. I'm like, I know he never played in the backyard. I don't ever remember him.
He never rode his bike in this neighborhood. None of that.
But do you? So saying that and thinking about you did what your parents wanted you to do you believe that he tried to do what you wanted him to do?
No.
He lived in his own path.
Yes, Jordan is living his own path for sure. Yeah. For sure. I think I'm the only one in this bloodline that is the people pleaser.
But the people pleaser to your
family. Yeah. And I don't think until
that's probably the worst people to be the people pleasers too.
Right. I don't think until this moment that I ever realized or looked at myself as a people pleaser. Until right now. But that's because I felt like it was family that it didn't count. But they count.
When we talked about me being a people pleaser, that episode, you were like, I don't think I've ever been that. You said that. You was like, I've never been a people pleaser.
Yeah. But I am. It's to family. Because the people on the street, I do not give a damn.
And let me tell you something. When this goes back to you saying, and this is not for everybody, and it may not be for you, but for me, how you said that, we create this, whatever, we get ourselves in debt and do things for social media and everything. That's actually what has helped bring me out of financial bondage or whatever, is being a giver and giving stuff away. Like now, I literally was laying in my bed 2 nights ago, and I got this coat rack full of purses that I never carried. Some of them I've never carried. And I was like, I'm about to bag this stuff up and give it to the homeless. Because I just feel like, me relieving myself of financial struggles and whatever else is. Why am I looking at this?
Well, I'm a giver. I give all my stuff away.
But I never was like that really. It was like people gave to me, and even if it's something I wasn't I held on to it, whatever. But now I'm like, you know what? Let me just relieve myself of
my problem is when I give it away, then I go looking for it and be like, oh, I forgot. I let such and so have it, because somebody be like, oh, that's cute. I'll be like, oh, you can have it. It's yours.
Yeah. You've been like that, and I learned how to start really being like that. The last couple of years.
Away though.
You gonna keep them purses?
I'm keeping them.
I would keep them too, though. I would, absolutely. But yeah, you are the people pleaser to your family.
Mm-hmm.
I am. I've been a people pleaser to other people, not my family, which is probably why my family look at me like, you not this or you not empathetic. Because I've always been empathetic to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And people pleaser to other people. So yeah, girl, you had that people pleaser spirit. Didn't even know.
Mm-mm.
But now that you have said it and realized it, maybe gradually you'll start making some decisions for you that's gonna help you feel better. And if you move to Arizona, I guess we have to come visit you in Arizona. Listen, I mean, we at the age now. I always say, shoot, I'm almost a half century old, and at this point in my life, I have to live for God and me.
I mean, because I keep thinking like, okay, this year, you and I are 6 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be turning 49. And while I do really believe that I am going to be on this earth a very long time, I believe that wholeheartedly that I'm going to see the hundreds. But I also be like, my mother was 61.
Yeah.
That's not very long from now.
No.
I think 12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when I think about that, like if I just had 10 years left on this earth, do I want it to look like it looks today?
That part.
Do you want your life from 5 years from now to look exactly like it looks today?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And it's not even about me looking at the snow outside. It's just everything about this is just not where I want to be. Because essentially, when I bought this house for my son with him in mind that this would be his home, whatever he wanted to do with it, and I would leave. Like this was my starter home.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect to be here as my forever home.
Yeah.
You know, and just aside from that, just how I just want my life. This shit ain't it. This ain't it.
And how many of y'all feel that way though? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be trying to put on a mask when they feel like that on the inside. When
because I know we're, and not to cut you off, because I know we're an adults and we have to have a job, and I'm grateful for my job. I love my job. You know, this out of the transitions, like the cumulative. Is that how you say it? I don't think I said that right. But anyway, it's gonna be like this will be my 7th year there. I want to stay there, but it's remote. I can work wherever in the United States. That part too. So the other part of that is that I know I'm an adult, and I know I may not be stepping into where, you know, I'm doing my spiritual practice full time and that's just how I live my life. Maybe that might not be my story. Maybe I may always be the mortgage girl and do that. I don't know what the cards are. But if I wanted my life to look like how I want it, it would just be me doing my spiritual practice, you know, and I wouldn't be making the amount of money that I make at the mortgage job. And honestly, I would probably still do that part-time. I just wouldn't do it full-time. But either way it go, I know as an adult, we have to work. We have to generate an income to live. So that's fine. But I want more than the routine of get up, go to work, because I feel like life is robotic. And it's not even about just new experiences and stuff like that. It is, but it's not. I just don't want a robotic life where I feel like I'm just not happy.
You're existing.
Yeah.
You're existing.
Like I want to enjoy and like look at them all collecting up there. I want to be like them. I just want to be free. Where it's just like, now I'm about to go visit Takesha.
I get it. Listen, I understand exactly what you said.
And it's just like I don't know.
And it's different for everybody. My feeling free is completely different from your feeling of free. Yeah. Like I feel free now, but I know in another year or two, I'm gonna be wondering or thinking or contemplating what is next for me.
For you.
Yeah. What's next
not
for me?
Not you and.
Not me and.
Just
like
you.
And I'm with you on that. I don't want a lifestyle of robotics. I don't want to live a robotic life at all. And my robotic life has always consisted of what I do with my children. That's why I know in another 2 years what it's going to look like, because I'm not going to have that. And I don't even want to just wake up, go do clients, go back home, go, you know.
Right, what I'm going to eat for dinner, meal prepping. Like, it's just like, it has to be more to life.
Yeah.
And I want to know, I guess, essentially, what is that more? What does that more look like?
Yeah, what it look
like for you? Because, for me, ideally, I mean, even if tomorrow, let's say I move and I get that new penthouse apartment downtown and I'm looking out at the water every day and I'm taking my walks and I'm throwing out, you know, my seeds, finding new animals to connect to. Like, what else is it then other than just that?
And you know what?
So it's just like, what is the more of life? Life has to be more than sleeping and just waking up, because I don't even eat. I ain't ate in like 3 weeks. I'm about to be a baddie out here in the summer.
The wrong way, but probably so, yeah, girl. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Bees hanging about to fall off because I ain't got no stomach.
But you know what? That like happens continuously though, because I was speaking to someone yesterday, and she is late 60s and retired, enjoy life. When I first met her, she was like going to dance classes and doing it. She always full of life. And then yesterday I was like, I haven't heard you talk about dance. So she's like, I just think I need to figure out something else now. She's ready for, I don't think that stops. I think at certain periods in your life, you just okay, what now? Let me switch it up a little again. What now? Because it looks different for right now. I'm in my feeling of I feel free and I'm enjoying life and I just feel very whole. But like I said, in 2 years, I know it's gonna be what now, Keisha? Now you want to do something else. I don't think that stops.
I don't either. And I do think and we're coming on a close, I do think the transformation constantly happens. And then I know people don't be wanting to get all into astrology, but it's just like, I'm a water baby. So, the water is still calm, yeah. Then sometimes it ain't so calm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think about that with the transitions and stuff that happen. So I know that is a part of life, but I feel like for me, I've been more in this unhappy space than the happy. Yeah. I want more than just happy moments. Mm-hmm. And I'm at peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not where I'm not practicing like gratitude, because I'm definitely at peace, because for the first time, like, while my debt to income may look like all my bills are paid, I'm not stressed out about, what I'm saying?
Right. I know that's right. Yes.
So I am grateful, for that. I'm grateful for my house. You know what I'm saying? I love it. It's something that I don't ever want to leave out from under the bank's name. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I have these things, and even though I do wake up and I be like, you woke up, I still be like, okay, you woke up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still grateful, because I know that God is giving me another chance. Mm-hmm. I know that there is more. But when I think of all of the biblical stories, Keisha, this how I be when I be talking to God. I be like, look, I'm feeling like I'm at the 400 years of going through this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That wilderness season.
Yes, where I be like, okay. Yeah. Like, I'm just, y'all, my skin looking nice. I'm just ready to just cross over and come out.
You looking for that land of milk and honey?
Yes, where I want it to be on a consistent basis and not just like 3 or 4 months out the year because the sun is out or it's just whatever. I just want it to be consistent. I want to live a happier lifestyle, and I just need to figure out what that looks like for me, how to get there. And I don't even know what other questions I have right now, but I need to figure it out, because
and that's a lot of us. And if you look within yourself, to the viewers, if you look within yourself, I'm sure at some point, if you don't have that question now, you've had it before in your life.
Because it doesn't. Because the thing with me is that I'm a human of emotions. So my emotions, I'm never playing poker because I don't have a poker face. You know what I'm saying? You're going to always know how Takesha's feeling. Mm-hmm. Even when I'm happy, if you say something, my face is gone. Like, it's just who I am. So I say that, whereas mine may be more apparent you know what I'm saying, than the next person. Just like how we talked about the makeup. You know, if you come to my house and I got the red lipstick on, you know, when that transition, you're going to be like, oh, I know that my friend is feeling better, even if you don't hear from me all week, because I carry it. But with me carrying it, and you see it, there are some people who don't carry it, that's going through the motions, and it may not necessarily mean that they're quote unquote depressed, because you can still be living a life and go through things and not necessarily be clinically depressed, but life still may not look like how you want it to look. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more or something different. It's just trying to figure it out. But I definitely, like, where I'm at today is not where I want to be. I don't want to keep feeling this feeling, but I need some suggestions for people. Like, how do you create that life that you want to live when there's so many different obstacles in the way? Like, is it just start today? Like, live your best life now. Like, how does that look when you don't feel like it? How does it look for me to have to leave and be like, I'm about to clean up when I don't feel like it, when now I want to get in the bed and be sad? Like, I don't live my best life.
You're depressed, but you're cracking me up.
Like, this ain't it. Like, I want to be on the yacht. Like, how do I?
Oh my God! Why did you do that?
How do I get there? Y'all gonna have to watch now, because y'all just listen. You have to watch to see my movement. You know, I'm a drama queen.
Oh God!
So like, how do I get there? That's just what I want to know. But I even think about like celebrities, like they go through stages and they transform and redo their identities and stuff.
As I looked at that,
yes, right. And that's a 102. So we over an hour, but so it's just like reinventing.
Yeah. Hey,
how do we reinvent ourselves?
Every week, you're getting better. You know what I'm saying? And if people go back episodes, they'll probably be like, "Oh, that's when she wasn't depressed." But and then when she come out of this, you gonna know. You gonna know.
And I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm doing. Follow the journey.
Follow the journey. Listen, next week we don't know what. I'm believing she's gonna feel even better. You know, but if she don't, we probably gonna talk about it.
We will,
because that's just what we do. We let y'all in on our girl talk, on our private conversations, what we probably would have talked about on the phone, because it would have been no different.
This is true.
It would have been no different. We literally would have been talking just like this. So I'm glad this week you were able to, even though I know you don't like the word pull, maybe, I don't know, whatever.
Push, because I'm literally pushing.
And talk more about this and not have it be so heavy where you couldn't express it. You were able to express it today more than you have in the last 2 weeks. So to me, that's it's levels to our healing. We talk about that all the time. It's levels to our journey, on our journey. It ain't never going to be like we're just like you just perfect.
No, it's not. It's not.
Never going to be, you know, and maybe one day it's probably be me and we'll be talking about it. You know, I shared something with her before this started that I'll probably talk about one day. I don't know
what she's talking about. So we're going to bring this to a close so I can see.
Listen, we want y'all to like, listen, subscribe. Your memory is short.
It's very short.
It was an hour ago. Want y'all to like, listen, subscribe, share. Let us know in the comments what y'all think. You know, hey, and give my friends some encouraging words. Let her know if y'all came up with some, and if you don't have an encouraging word, just, you know, speak, you know, life into her, into us, into this podcast, because this has been from day one all about helping and healing.
Yes, and being authentic. I have most definitely showed up transparent, because even today when it's just like I get texts on Thursday like happy podcast today, I'm like
don't be putting your fingers over the podcast. When they say happy podcast, yes, happy podcast, whoever said that, thank you. I say it for her. Thank you.
Happy podcasting day.
Listen, we will see y'all next week.